In this video, I'll give you an in-depth look at the backup features of Get Backup. You've probably already recognized the icons for iPhoto, Mail, iTunes, Documents, and Address Book. These are so-called templates that once dragged and dropped into the content list will include information from these databases in the backup project. So there is absolutely no need to go through your computer manually to back up those libraries. To add additional files, you need to press the plus button under the list and, in the dialog that shows up, select the files or folders you need to keep safe, then just click Choose. To remove an item from this list, simply select it and click the minus button. The View Content button allows you to view the contents of any folder or template in the list. By unselecting the checkboxes to the left, you can exclude certain files in that folder from the backup project. Once you have chosen the files to include in the backup, the next step is to set up the properties. To do that, click the Properties button. This dialog allows us to control things such as backup destination, password protection, automation, and so on. Let's choose our backup destination in the drop-down menu to the top. Here you can see the hard drive of the computer itself, a network backup volume, the disk drive, and an external hard disk. The numbers written to the side indicate how much space is available. I'll choose the external hard drive. Next are some options that allow you to exclude undesirable files. There are a few options already available, but if you have the Pro version of Get Backup, you can choose a file type of your own by clicking on the Select button. I have a few movies in my backup project. They take up quite a bit of space, so what I need to do is select one of them and keep the same extension selected below. You can also exclude files by file name as well as file name and extension. Then just click Capture. Next, you see there are 3 backup types Get Backup can create. Full backs up all of the files, and each subsequent backup overwrites the previous. Incremental means that the program will perform an initial full backup, and each subsequent one will back up only those files that have been changed since the previous. Note that this type is only available in the Pro version. And finally, Versioned creates a full backup every time, but previous backups are not overwritten. I'll choose Incremental since this takes up the least amount of disk space, and I'll also keep the Use Compression checkbox selected. Now, if your information is confidential, you should certainly choose one of the encryption types that can be found under the backup types. As you can see, there are 4 of them. This allows you to assign a password to your archive in the final steps of the backup process. This is a very important and useful tool that is exclusively in the Pro version of Get Backup. The archive size limit allows you to break up a large backup into smaller archives. This is known as a multi-volume backup. This is great when you are backing up to CD or DVD, but I'll leave it as unlimited. The last section of this dialog allows one to automate a backup according to a schedule. You see we can select daily, weekly, and monthly. I'll select weekly and choose the day of the week, and the time, even down to the minute. Click OK and type in a name for the project to get back to the main interface. To start the first backup of your project, press the big blue play button, and then enter in the password for your project. I recommend choosing to save the password in your keychain. To make sure that your backup was successful, click on the button next to the message shown under the Start button. This brings up the log window. Well, it looks like everything went fine and the information is safe. That's basically it for backup.